I love your hair. Hi, good to see you. By the way, I love your hair. It looks so good.
Isn't it crazy?
Oh my God.
Excuse me for 1 second. It's so good. I never expected that I would have gotten this blonde this quickly. I'm a natural blonde. I haven't been blonde since I was 14. I've had every color under the sun. And of course, my signature red hair has been my love for the last 6 years. And I thought I was going to go through this really awkward orange stage and like wear hats every day. And my beautiful colorist, Kennedy Van Dyke, she's such a talented colorist. And within a week, without damaging my hair one bit, we stripped all of that red out and got it to this beautiful blonde with a little pink ombre. I'm stoked.
I'm like obsessed with it. It looks, I like didn't even recognize you when I saw you on Instagram. I was like, oh my God, it like suits you perfectly. It's awesome.
Thank you. And most people don't recognize me. It's been a big shock. Like for the most part, 99% of people are on board and love it. But there is a few people that are like, absolutely not, miss the red hair. So you can't please everyone, but I know I am super happy with the change. I love it.
And that is all that matters. So how's your quarantine been going?
Oh my gosh, it's been interesting. Like, it feels like it's gone for 10 years. So there's that. Yeah. And I feel like as you do with any period, like there's been roller coasters and ups and downs, but it's been, if I look for the silver lining, quite beautiful to be forced to slow down, quite beautiful to be forced to kind of look inward and work on myself and go back to reading more and be okay with being still. We are all so good at being busy, being distracted and hustling, and we love the hustle. But sometimes what we find really difficult is sitting still with our own company. And of course, I'm single, so it is literally just my own company and a foster dog that I decided to help out because my Duke and Daisy is stuck in Australia. So it's been interesting. It's helped me get more creative and trying to write different ideas and come up with new ways to take maybe old ideas into this now current climate. Like, how can we do different things digitally? What type of dance show can I create? How could I take what I wanted to be on stage to be a digital theater performance for people? And so my brain is kind of spinning with all these creative ideas. I do hope the world goes back to normal.
Eventually.
That would be great. But in the meantime, it's kind of forced me to take a beat, slow down, and be okay with moving slowly, which is difficult for me.
It is. I feel like it's going to be hard for people to kind of get back into the swing of things too, once things go back to the new normal.
What is that new normal going to be though? Do you know what I mean? I think people are going to value that time with family, that time at home, that maybe we can all learn to have a little bit more balance in our lives after this situation. We were so far on the hustle side, and now we're so far on the you must stay quarantine, isolation, see no one, do nothing side. Maybe we can actually meet in the middle and find some balance and some happiness in there, because I think that would be beautiful for everybody.
I couldn't agree with you more. Totally. I mean, how have you been staying in shape and dancing throughout all of this? Because I know obviously that's your passion. So, I mean, it's hard sometimes when you're stuck inside and can't really do anything.
It's definitely, I forced myself to fall in love with running. Not my jam normally. I do like it at the gym. I love a good elliptical, but my cardio has always been dance. And so I was like, I wasn't getting everything that I needed when it was just me. I wanted that hype. I wanted something. I wanted a bit more distance. And so I ended up going on outdoor running, and I actually fell in love with it. There are some days I still hate it. Right. But for the most part, I really enjoy that. Getting out for an hour and a half, and whether I walk it or run it, in my area there's a lot of staircases and hikes and hills, and I can just take it at my pace and feel like I get a good workout, and it feels good to get outside. But I have been taking the time to rebrand and recreate the actual dance cardio series that I already have, and I have some amazing ideas. I've been taking my time with it. And I want to turn that whole world of dance cardio into something even bigger of, dance, health and wellness for women. So that's it. It's a slow burn. It's a slow build, but we're getting there. And this is kind of one of those things that this time has done, has helped me step back and look at how much better can I make that for everyone. It was great for what it was, but what more can I do to make it better, to make it bigger? And I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, and I feel like that's like a perfect thing, because so many people, I think now, are probably going to do more at-home workouts and are looking for fun and creative ways to kind of pass the time and do things that are a little bit different.
Yeah, well, also, like, why am I going to spend $250 a month at Equinox when I can run through my hills here and have a great time and maybe do something at home with a friend that's in my quarantine bubble? You know, it's nowhere near as expensive. It's actually better for us getting outside and having interaction. So I think it might be a new normal for a lot of people.
I totally agree with you. I really think that. I know you said that you've been, you're single during quarantine. Have you been able to date at all? I mean, it's got to be hard to do like Zoom dates.
It's really, really hard. I have friends that have done different things where I thought, oh, that's interesting. Like, someone went on a surfing date, which I was like, that's actually kind of cool. Like, you don't touch, you don't anything, but you get a surfboard and you go hang out on the beach and go surfing. And I was like, I could see this. This is fun. Love the surf, love the beach. And then there's also friends that are just doing like the first dates at a park, where you have to be, you take your own blanket and your own bottle of wine and you sit at the park and you get to know each other. And if you like it, then you get a COVID test. And if you're both negative, you can go on a real date. I mean, there's ways around it. It's just really intense. Like, it doesn't make the dating scene any easier. Let's put it that way.
No, totally. And then is it true that you were going to do the Bachelorette Australia when all this happened, right? So I was on the fence. They offered it to me and I was initially like, sure, I mean, that could be fun. And then as I got into it, there was something that didn't feel right, and which is odd because I love the show. But for some reason, my instincts were saying, don't do it, which was very bizarre. And I've had to trust my instincts my whole life. They've led me to where I am now, which is nowhere near what I could have ever dreamt of or imagined. It was just by following instincts and some voice inside that was like, yes or no. And as excited as I was to be offered, and also honored to be offered, because that's so freaking cool, there was something in me that was saying, don't do it. Every time I went to say yes to my manager, I got this in my stomach, and I was like, I have to listen to that. And so I ended up saying no to it. And I believe that they now have 2 sisters as bachelorettes in Australia, which is really, really cool and exciting. And I think that's super fun for the network. And I'll be cheering them on. Yeah. I mean, would you ever do it here in the States? I mean, have they ever reached out to you here? Because now, I mean, I don't know if you've been keeping up with all the drama with going on with Claire. There's a million bachelorettes like filming right now. We don't know what's going on, but would you ever do it here?
You know what? I would consider it. There's also that thing that my life is here. I live here, so it also makes more sense for me to do it here. I don't have plans to permanently move back to Australia. I would love to be half and half, like go to Australia and work, but my life is based here. I want to raise my kids here. Yeah. And so, yes, in that sense, yes, it feels like it makes more sense. There's less questions at the end of it. Sure. For me, like, okay, well, where do we live and what do we do? It makes more sense for me. If I got offered, I'd 99.99% say yes, for sure.
I think that you would be a great bachelorette.
Thank you.
I mean, I know the question on everybody's mind. They want to know, are you going to be back on Dancing with the Stars?
It's a good question. It's on my mind. Like, I have no idea at this point. Last year was definitely a shock. To not be back, but there was no love lost with the family at all. I was there cheering them. I love them, and we'll do the same thing again this season if I'm not asked back. If they ask me, I will jump up and down. I might do the ugly cry. I'm not sure. I missed my family. I missed dancing. I missed creating. I missed teaching. And I certainly wasn't ready to walk away from it last year. I've still got more in me. So if they give me a shot, I will be over the moon. But who knows? I don't know. No one's heard anything. I'm sure they've got so much going on with planning how they're even going to make this season work. And if anyone can do it, Dancing with the Stars can. But either way, I'm excited that another season is coming up and that dancing is still on television.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's so amazing that, after coming off of the season when you won and then you weren't asked back. I mean, everybody was shocked. I mean, I was shocked, yes. Everybody that was watching. I mean, but it's still so nice to hear that you have such a great things to say about the show, because, some people that would leave a bad taste in their mouth, but it doesn't seem like that to happen to you.
No, I think choosing to not put a negative cloud over my 9 beautiful years with the show, and choosing to not take one season's decision rip away all the good parts of the beautiful memories and connections and opportunity that it gave me. Like, I wouldn't be where I am without that show, without that opportunity, without them giving me that platform and light to shine. So I'm eternally grateful to them. They will always be family. And at the end of the day, it's business. Someone decided they didn't want this person and they wanted that person, and who knows what goes on in those rooms. It's definitely not personal. It's not an attack on me. It is, again, just business. So hopefully the business is different this season and they have me back, but we'll see.
I mean, they are changing things up. I mean, what was your reaction with Tom and Erin? I mean, another shocking thing that, I mean, we didn't see coming.
It was shocking. Like, I can't not say that. It was shocking. When I read Tom's tweet, I texted him straight away and was like, are you okay? Because he's a very good friend of mine. And because when you think Dancing with the Stars, you think Tom Bergeron, you think Erin, you think of our hosts and the judges, I think, more so than you do anything else, because they've been there for so long and they keep the tone of the show and the rhythm of the show. So having it without Tom, I was like, how is this even going to work?
Right.
But I do think it's exciting that they're changing it up. It has been 28 seasons. Dancing is trying to figure out how to change things up and make it exciting for our fans without, losing too much of what they love, but maybe giving them something they didn't know they wanted. Who knows what it takes to try and recreate a TV show? It's a monster of a show with a huge fan base. And I'm sure they don't take their decisions lightly when they do them. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually really, really excited to see Tyra out there. I think she's beautiful. I love what she's done before. I was definitely a fan of Next Top Model. I met her once when I was dancing with Niall DeMarco for Switch Up Week, and she was so kind and lovely. So hopefully, it's going to be a beautiful mix. But I think, my heart, I'm always going to miss Tom Bergeron and Erin out there on that stage.
Yeah. I mean, what did Tom say when you texted him?
He just said that he was okay. And then I actually thought it might have been his decision, done it for so many times and time to retire. But he said it wasn't his decision. And that's when I was like, oh, snap. Like, this is wow. But he said he's okay. And that, again, he had a beautiful time with the show, and it's been his 29 seasons. It's a long time. But he was, he's always going to miss it. Of course, there's a little bit of sadness there.
Of course. I mean, do you feel like the show needed to be switched up a little bit?
Well, I mean, I don't even know if it matters what I think. Like, it's difficult because I'm in it.
Yeah.
So when you're in it, you don't see maybe what's happening on the outside perspective, whereas the producing team and the execs, they're trying to look at it from a different perspective. They're doing census testing across the country and getting feedback from real people saying things. And so maybe they got certain feedback where it led to them to believe that they had to change it up. Sure. Dancing hasn't pulled in the big, and it's still huge, do you know what I mean, in its numbers. But it stayed in the same place for a couple of years. So maybe they're trying to figure out how to bring a few more of those millions that have gone over to The Voice back to Dancing with the Stars.
Gotta rock the boat a little bit, right?
Gotta rock the boat.
I know Nikki just spoke out saying that she really wanted you back, and also, of course, Artem back. Did you and Artem leaving at the same time, did that bring you guys closer together?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Listen, Artem and I have known each other since we were teenagers. So there's misery loves company. What is that? We both battled through that together, and went in our waves of complete and utter despair over because it's that feeling of rejection too. Like, why don't they want me? Yeah. And then that healing of that, and that taking it as an opportunity to thrive in other ways. And we started coming up with different ideas. We actually have an amazing interactive, immersive show idea that we've been talking about putting in Vegas. We were having great conversations, and then COVID.
Right, so, of course.
But they're things to get back to.
Yeah.
And he's a dad now. There's just so much good stuff. But at the time, it's certainly, we were keeping each other company and texting and making sure each other were okay. But he's like family to me anyway. We toured the world with a show called Burn the Floor together for a long time. Yeah. There's definitely friendship.
Yeah. How's dad life treating him?
Oh, I actually have not spoken to them since then. It's only Instagram things, but I cannot wait to just see. He's already such a dad. Do you know what I mean? And the way he is with Nikki is just heaven. And I love them so much, and I really can't wait to meet their baby boy. And the fact that Brie and Nikki had boys a day, like,
crazy.
it's just wild. It's so cool. It's so freaking cool. It makes me wish I had a twin sister, but it's so cool.
Yeah.
And I love that happened.
I know, I do too. I mean, knowing him since he was a teenager, so what kind of dad is he going to be? I mean, you probably know best.
Artem is so calm and kind, and just, I think he'll be very, very patient. And he's been wanting that family life for a long time, and I think he's just going to explode with love for a while. But I think he's going to be very practical. I think even though he's kind and calm, he'll have a strictness about him, about the way things, about maybe manners and being polite and being kind, because it's so things that he's about. He was raised well, or he raised himself well. He was a dance kid traveling the world like me. You sort of learn by experience and environment. But he's going to be an amazing dad. I definitely know that. And Nikki will be an amazing mom. The way they balance each other is just so special.
Did you feel the chemistry when they were together on Dancing with the Stars?
Not on Dancing with the Stars necessarily, because also, like, I don't take too much notice of that, because every partner I've had, people said that I'm gonna date or should date, and sometimes they've had girlfriends, and so I tend to just not pay attention to that, because we are professionals at creating chemistry. You know what I mean? To building that friendship, creating it on the dance floor, and it's a part of the magic and the mystery, and I love that. But I certainly didn't want to play into whether they did or didn't have anything going on. She was with John Cena, and so my eyes just don't tend. It's not that I don't notice it; it's just that I don't acknowledge it as something that it isn't until I'm told otherwise, by that person.
Yeah.
But they worked really, really hard. They definitely had chemistry, but I don't know if it was necessarily anything more than that. Mm-hmm. I think they sort of got to know each other deeper after the season.
Totally, definitely. Is there a Dancing with the Stars group chat? Like a text?
No, I mean, yeah, there's actually a ton of them. It depends on, like, what time of year you're talking about. Like, if we were on tour, it would be all of those Dancing with the Stars people, or if each season has the cast that gets onto a group chat and everyone texts back and forth. Mainly the dancers, not necessarily the celebrities. And then there's other group chats where some celebrities are involved. Like, it's just, I have so many different group chats over the years, but they're all a lot of fun.